My name is Noella Vigeant. I am a photographer. I live here in Gilroy, which is where I do a lot of my work. I also teach here in Gilroy at W.A.V.E College and a couple other schools, but this is one of my main places where I teach. I teach photography, both the camera, how to use it, how to do different styles of photography, and the post-processing of photography. So the Photoshop, some printing techniques, and how to work with people, how to work with subjects.
What can you see?
I am zooming right in on those blooms. They're really interesting. I even got a little bee up there. How cool is that? The subjects that I typically lean toward in nature would be trees. There is just something about trees that I find fascinating. I have been working on a project to photograph oak trees. I thought it would last me one winter, but I'm on winter 4 now, and I think I will probably photograph for another 2 winters before I feel like I've captured enough winter oaks.
So how did you get into photography?
I got into photography through osmosis, I think. There was always cameras around when I was growing up. My grandfather had a camera, and I just loved looking at pictures as growing up. My grandmother taught my father how to take pictures and develop pictures, and then my father in turn taught me how to do it. And I think that I just stayed with photography. At one point in my life, I got to make a decision. Do I want to work for corporate America, or do I want to do something that I love? And that was where it went. I had the opportunity to take stills on a feature film, and it was one of the greatest experiences for me. First off, because no matter where we shot, the lighting was perfect, which is a big struggle when you don't have a studio and you're out photographing in nature, which is where I take a lot of my pictures. So that made it really exciting. Also, the fact that I was working with artists. I was working with not just one artist, I was working with an entire cast and crew of artists, and that made photography a lot of fun. My favorite picture from working on that feature film is a photograph of the director. He was, often very pensive and thinking through and how to catch his idea onto film. And I have one picture in particular that I really like of him. He almost looks like Hitchcock in the picture. It's a profile of him, and that's my favorite photograph from that shoot. When I'm about to photograph a subject, my first thing is to kind of get to know their expressions. So I will often ask questions to elicit either a silly smile or something serious, just so I can get a feel for what they're going to look like in front of my camera before I even pull the camera up. And then when like an environment such as this, like at W.A.V.E, I will start looking for a texture or a backdrop that's going to complement my subject. Here, my subject, today I have a subject who's wearing a black shirt, and it's very plain, so I will start looking for some textures to kind of complement or to create a more interesting image. With this tree, what I'd like you to do is lean on it, so be relaxed. Maybe even put this foot up here so that you feel comfortable. Look back at you. That's great. Oh, that's beautiful. Close your eyes, take a nice big breath. Really long. Okay, do open them again. Very sweet, thank you. I feel like I'm in heaven when I have someone like this in front of my camera. She's got the greatest smile. And she's perfect.
Oh yeah.
In a location like this, on a campus like this, where I have a variety of backdrops, I will move my subject from one place to another so that they get a break from being in front of the camera, but also it gives us a nice variety of images to look at afterwards. Sometimes my instincts toward one backdrop is great, but it may not come across well with my subject, so that also gives me a choice of finding some better captures of my subject. The wind is going to blow your hair, and because the light's coming behind it, it's going to be nice.
Did you feel comfortable with Noella?
Yes, I felt at ease with her.
My job as the photographer is to be the memory maker, the person who records the moment in time, and that's not always just people. Even though I photograph a lot of families, a lot of individuals, I look at it as the trees that I photograph are also the family that I photograph. And over time, I am taking a piece of history of whether it's a child, a family, or a tree, and I'm recording it.